Are we finished with live anyway?
Not until, well, hello everybody.
No, we've
Live, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 coffee cups is the answer.
Right then.
good to go.
Good to go.
Can I intro this and get started?
You can intro it, go on.
All right.
2.
What's on this? I've walked away there.
Huh?
You don't need me, I'm just doing this, getting this out there.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
So we're good to go then. Right.
We're good to go.
Okay. Well, look. Welcome to the ropey video segment of the Day Trippers, beaming at you from the stationary covered chic of the bunker all around you. I'm Trev Downey. I'm joined tonight by Paul Brown, Andy Young, and Phil Casey. You can see most of them on Periscope. The topic we want to look at for this part of the show is the fallout from the weekend. Anfield was an angry kind of a spot on Saturday, at least it was in the corner I was sitting at the Cop. But if, as seems likely, Brendan Rodgers is going to stay, what we want to talk about is what 3 things, just to get us started, do you think he needs to change, either personally in his approach to it or just in a general wider scheme of things, to ensure that we get back into the top 4? So I've got a lot of questions here from listeners that we'll play around with as well in this segment. But we'll just start off by getting a couple of ideas from you guys about your immediate thoughts on that. What do you think? So, Andy, you're on my right, and I'll put you on the spot, fella. What do you think Brendan needs to do? 1 or 2 or 3 things immediately?
Well, I don't know whether it's going to get us back into the top 4, but it'd make you be a bit happier anyway as a Liverpool fan. So just stop with this shy talk and spoofing.
Yeah.
So like, just, when you're talking to journalists, you don't need to tell them everything.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to just dig into holes and then find yourself contradicting yourself halfway through the season. You know, tripping yourself. So and basically just stop making the club look like a bit of a laughing stock. You know, he's a good manager. He's a good coach. This sort of side fucking thing that's going on about we're doing what we listen, but now they're in every newspaper, they're in everyone's Twitter feed. So that would be one thing for me. You want 3 things, do you?
No, you know what?
You want 3 things?
You know what? I think that's a good one. That's a good one to start on, and we could do worse than you're probably in the majority there, I think, with your take on that. And it's not an anti-Rodgers thing. I think an awful lot of people just think, yeah, okay, he's a sound man, he's great, whatever, but I wish he'd just be a bit more quiet. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But
I'm not anti-Rodgers at all. Like, you know,
I did think he was learning. Did you not last year? I thought he had pulled his neck in a bit, and then the minute things got good again, he was...
To be honest, I don't know, because I don't watch the fella. I don't watch these interviews at all. We try and avoid them as much as possible. Now,
well, I kind of deal with it every day when I'm writing, and I thought, you know what? He's picked up a bit. He's a bit more sensible in the way he's approaching things, a bit more one game at a time type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, he went big with a few kind of
he did go large,
in the year. And the problem now is that, like, obviously they get picked up everywhere, and you know, there's a good bit of the fan base never took to him, so they're gonna remember that when it's like,
they love that,
tits up.
Yeah.
And it is fair enough that, like, he's going on about all the quality we've signed. And then by the end of the season, he's talking about, like, how we miss John Flanagan or whatever, and that's why
no leadership.
It's all gone to. And the Lovren thing, obviously, he made it. He's the new Carragher and all this, and now he's saying that there's no leadership. There's the picture of him with his head in his hands, while Lovren's tripping up over his own Nicky in front of a lassie. So he's contradicting himself a lot. So, like, he does need to tone it down a bit.
If you could add one thing to that list of things that Brendan could do to change the setup, what would you add, Paul?
I think people are right this season. You know, when people are saying we've no identity, like we had the kind of 13 game run, and other than that, it's just been absolute crap. Like against Palace again, like there's no tempo to the play. There's no threat. There's nothing. Like it's just watching them kind of swish the ball around until they lose it and concede on the counter and all. Just trash. Like put some tempo and identity into the team.
So, like, you mean to re-inject that or get back to what he was doing right?
There's no urgency. Like, you saw us absolutely trying to murder teams in the first 15 minutes last year.
Yeah.
And now, like, we tend to go through the whole first half doing absolutely nothing. Like,
it's a worry that you wonder is there a psychological thing coming from him there? Like, what's the great man?
Like I know Peter that Suarez is gone and Suarez held the team together and all.
Yeah.
And like I don't buy into that too much. But one thing he did do was he kind of set the kind of tone up front. If the ball went near any opposition centre backs, he was absolutely all over them like a rash, and like it did rub off from the whole team.
Yeah.
And I think we've noticed. I know Sturridge hasn't been fit all season, but there has been a difference in him. It's almost like when he does play, almost like Suarez isn't here to get on me back or whatever. I can kind of take it easy.
Yeah.
So and obviously Lambert and Balotelli. Balotelli's made a bit of an effort. Lambert's not going to get anywhere near any fucking sense. It's he does when we have the ball, not when we don't. But like, that sort of thing. Like there's no urgency anywhere on the pitch. Like that starts from up top on the ball or off.
Oh, that's a good. That's another.
First of all, I want them to stop trying to add a Brendanism to the player's position. So, when we sign a right winger or a right-sided forward, he plays him as a right-sided forward. Or if we sign a centre midfielder, he doesn't play him as a right back, right? So, you sign players for the positions that you need, and not you sign somebody and then say he can do a job. Yeah. So I can accept doing
a
job.
He deliberately does that mucking about thing.
I think there's a bit of. I'm really good at this management and coaching malarkey. I know this fella is good here, but
didn't we embrace that as a kind of multifunctional player theory? Didn't we embrace that?
I don't mind multifunction. No, I don't mind it at all there, Trevor.
You're all right with the multifunction?
I don't mind the multifunction there, Trevor.
Yeah, no, it's all well and good. Just think shoehorn a fella in right back when you've no right back.
Yeah.
But Brendan's whole thing from day one has been a pecking order of players. So as soon as you're the 12th man in his favour, you're going in no matter where.
Yeah.
Or someone's getting moved around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't like to say, right, we're stuck for a right back. There's a fella doing all right in the 21s. We'll bring him in.
Give him a go.
Yeah.
Despite him saying that, giving you the chance, blah, 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 right? So if we sign a player, I don't know, say Markovic this year, right? So we all knew, everyone was talking about him and everyone watched him. He played, say, as a 10, or as he played as a left forward, or he occasionally played as a right forward. We played him as a left wing back, then we played him as a right wing back. Then he was dropped because he wasn't good as a left wing back or as a right wing back. And actually, he wasn't too bad as a right wing back or a left wing back, but we seemed to drop him because for whatever reason. And then we played Emre Can, and for whatever, he just seems determined not to play Emre Can in the centre of the midfield.
Wherever, yeah.
Even though he then, while he had him at right back, tried to get him to play in the centre midfield as well as playing right back. So just play him in centre midfield. We know Sturridge likes to play up top with a partner. So stop playing Sturridge as a lone centre forward and play him up top with a partner, because he tends to be better when you do that. All the things that he did right last year, he seemed to want to put a flourish or something on top of it to say, well, here's the next evolution. When in fact, it's sometimes something is right, so you just keep doing it because teams can't deal with that because they're so good in those positions. So that's the one thing. Secondly, stop using outstanding and character. Right, just stop using those two words in every interview. Things that are outstanding and fucking things there has been, with the exception of the use of outstanding, there has not been much outstanding, right?
That's been outstanding.
And character. We've lacked character in about 95% of the games this year. So using that word is, unless you're saying there's a serious lack of character in these lads, right? That. And then the last bit is just a bit repeating more or less what Pod said. The things that he's done well in the two runs that he had in the second half of his fourth season, and through the second half of last season, and on the 13 game, the games that we played well in the 13 game winning streak, was all built on pace, right? So fundamentally, when he gets a team to play as a pacey attacking side, that's the best version of a Brendan football team.
Okay,
and keep doing that. Keep doing that loads of times. If you're looking at one thing about players you're going to buy this summer, make sure they're footballers crossed 100-meter sprinters, because pace is definitely one of the best things to have in the Premiership. Yeah, because you can get through most teams. You can counter
when you're trying to play a particular way. And when we played our best football, it has been that type of counter-attacking football where you just hurt teams. They're afraid. They're almost afraid to lose the ball.
It's a shame we're losing our quickest player, Dan, isn't it? I suppose. But look, we'll
hang on a second.
We'll
I don't know about losing our quickest player.
We won't.
Colo Toure might sign that new contract.
I know. Yeah. Let's get one or two questions from the listeners on this topic. Andy, we'll come back to you, Ren, in a circle here. Nate says if Brendan stays and he's total say on transfers, and we start poor again, which I suppose is all very possible, how long till FSG say that's enough? Do you think he gets like another season or?
No, well, he's used up last season's credits this season.
You think?
That's it now. Like, so we're kind of we're back to kind of square one now. Brendan's to prove himself from kind of day one again. So the season with Suarez doesn't count anymore.
Okay.
And you know, it counts as equally as the shit that we've had to put up with this season. So next season,
the only time for that, that's not a fair argument. Like, you can't dismiss it because it was wonderful and he did get us the second and all that. The only time for that argument.
Well, he did. Great, fair play to him, but like,
I thought you'd go there, all right.
Yeah, fair play to him, but where are we now?
Yeah,
you know, so if it's gone tits up next season, and again, like we felt before Christmas, that there's no way out of this. We're not going to. How are we going to start scoring goals? How are we going to start winning games? And you just can't really see that and change it. Come Christmas, he's in big trouble. You know?
I can't genuinely right now. Look, we'll be talking about Brendan now until something either happens, either we play wonderfully or we don't, right? Because whatever happens from here on out, if I'm assuming he's going to be manager next season, if he doesn't get off to an absolute flyer of a start, the pressure on him is going to be huge. And I'm not talking about from the media. There was already, you could see there's Mormons already in the fan base.
There's Mormons.
There's Mormons as well.
I was not aware of this.
They bring their many
Big banner, like fucking blimps and everything.
What's up, face? I mean, like the biggest plane.
Colts coming.
The weekend take.
I wouldn't have had any saber flying his family. Should have been just shot down, and that's it then. No more planes. That's what happens if you fly a plane over Africa. You're shot down.
Part of the new main stand. Service to air missiles.
Yeah.
Want to bring a plane over there? Yeah.
Okay, let's get one or two more of these. I have to touch on it. I know, like, look, will we just leave it that Rodgers is going to be in situ and not talk about, like?
I'd be amazed if he isn't.
I wouldn't. I mean, like, I think he's got a big meeting coming up, and he will have he'll have to settle himself again. Yeah, I think he's going to have to answer serious questions. I mean, what, like, how do you think they're coming out for fucking afternoon tea?
Yeah,
you know, they're going to sit him down and ask him what the fuck is going on.
Remember the Broad Kenny baseball match?
Like, he's going to say,
you
told me. You told me last year to do this. You told us you're going to do that. Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you delivered? And he's going to have to come up with some bullshit answer that they believe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good at it.
No. But he's a good lad to tell a story, so who knows? Yeah. Okay. Right. Just a couple of things related to the team there. I want to go back, Paul, to something we were talking about. I was talking a bit to you there at the start. Peter's wondering about a lack of passion, a lack of fight. That was so obvious that lad should really nearly be embarrassed. And whatever way you want to talk about the manager, or whatever level, the things you want to level at him, those guys on that day, they let themselves down. They let the jersey down in every way, right? It was horrible.
Yeah, it's been the same sort of shite now for like almost on different scales since the United match.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no bottle, no character.
No character
at all.
But where was the emotional? Let's get Steve. Wow. Periscope is fucked. Sorry, Periscope. Yeah. Do you know what? That's perfect. Perfect day trippers Periscope.
Just in case the YouTubers are feeling.
I'm sorry, Cross.
Yeah, like it's just we're like, all right, they've won the league. kind of go out and hit them with everything we've got and see if we can get the win. No, there's nothing like it. We got outfought in the first half by a team that was on holiday for a week.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for properly like, fuck off. Yeah. Wanker. Which then like you're the skipper's big fucking send off, like go out and try absolutely bash and all over the place.
If you're ever going to have an emotional response,
and like that's worrying to me, that like, you know, a team that's won the league is on holiday can outfight us, and then a team that play before
podcast.
wait to see you later on, fella.
Who's your smell?
Don't be messing the ears, man.
That's just, we actually don't need this.
No.
Okay. What do you think?
Getting loads of hearts. Look.
I know, loads of
Do you
hearts.
want to pick up an actual question from?
There's Andy there in his glory.
Pick up an actual question from.
Right. Next question. What are the day trippers cooking?
Oh, I see. This is the rock. This is the rock question. Very good.
Because Andy had the
That's
same.
one of the few things I get about wrestling there. Anything football related, or we'll go back to this.
I'd just like to compliment Trev, knocking the old wrestling on the head. Cheers, man. Taking me out, I didn't know what was going on.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
This live
Are you into wrestling or not?
No,
He's
You're
not.
not?
No, he just got labelled with it for some strange
Okay.
reason, didn't you? What was that about? A couple of questions came in.
Were you into it years ago?
Can you stop flicking that fucking thing around so that we can actually give one more question and get finished? Seriously.
My man dad wouldn't let me watch it. That's fucking true. You know when you're in fucking first or second class, you're like, oh, what's the wrestling? You're not watching that shit. Fair enough.
Quality control, fair custom. You gotta respect that.
question. All right,
Yes, I have a fucking question. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. It's simple. Do you think if we finished fifth or sixth last season, before this, for fuck's sake, do you think we finished fifth or sixth last season like we have done this season? This is a question from Molly. We know Molly, don't we?
Yeah.
Hi, Molly. Do you think that Brendan would still be in his job?
Well, he is still in his job.
No.
If we finish fifth or
if
sixth,
we finished fifth or sixth
I
last
thought
season,
you meant like
I
they followed it up by another season of fifth.
this is in response to the Carragher statement.
yeah, and it goes back to what Andy was saying.
If we'd done seventh to fifth to second, would he be still in the job?
Yeah.
Or would this thing be happening?
Yeah.
No, of course not, because that's progression, year on year progression, right?
Yeah.
The problem you have is that we've done seventh to second, which was unheard of, right? We then spent £1 trillion on players, right? Down to seventh.
Yeah.
Like that's that's how pressure comes on. It's not that it's just pressure. It's not that if it was seventh to second to fourth, no, there isn't. Very few of us would be able to argue with that, because you're retaining top four. They would have had to learn how to use the Champions League. They would have learned how to do, handle, say, 2 games a week and all that type of stuff. And you'd say that there's progression going on.
So it's going back to that thing you say, that the lesson, there's not much being learned. Even first, you've always said that. There's not a whole lot being learned.
I don't. As I said, and Dave Thomas would disagree with me, but I don't see what is being learned from what's gone on this season.
Well, the European campaigns are fair evidence.
But league position is one thing. I suppose the points accumulation is the main gauge. So you want to be kind of getting 5 or 6 points extra every season.
Yeah.
Whatever we got last year, 80 whatever points.
84 points club.
Yeah, and they were. I need to check.
But you can't.
Now we're ridiculous.
Now
We're ridiculous.
63 points for it now.
Yeah. So,
And that's no choo-choo. You don't get a train for 63
No
points.
trains.
but like if you went 7th, 6th, 5th, you kind of people be saying that's progress. but it's it's not really a proper gauge. You need to be looking at points. Like we need to be like getting 72, 73, 74, 5 points to be getting Champions League.
See, I don't think even people would argue if we finished fifth and we finished with 75 points in fifth, right? Because then you'd be saying it was an unbelievably high points total that got fourth. And in that, like you're saying, fair enough, we put enough points on the board that would normally get you fourth, and you can have that argument. But when you're struggling to even get fifth,
like when you're talking about a manager's reign, stuff like momentum like that is important. Like I thought, when we started going and when we started picking our form around, I thought even if we don't finish top 4, if he keeps like that sort of run going, then I'd let him keep his job. Like you see if he's learned anything. It's the fact that we haven't. We've gone straight back down afterwards. Like it's like he's been found out and he doesn't know what to do. He hasn't been able to kind of rally any sort of form together. That's the one that's what worries you.
And the last couple of weeks, watching it tail off is ample evidence.
Yeah, so like something like 7th, 5th, 2nd, like it's an upward curve. Like we've seen what happens when you start going downward. It's the same with Rafa as well. Like Rafa had the title challenge, and obviously the circumstances were different. Obviously under the 2 Cowboys, but it's the same thing. Like the players completely lost interest once we peaked and started going downwards. It was like a train wreck.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing at the moment. Really.
I think that I think Fowler's got there just said it, but I'd start to be in it. It does feel a bit like Julier's last few months at the club, where there's been loads of excuses and loads of things being bandied out, and even coming up to the United game, there was the comments that we're not looking at United, we're looking at higher than that in the league, and there was talk of second, and then all of a sudden we failed.
Choo choo! Not anymore, pal. Not anymore.
And then we just sort of faded out. And faded away. Now we've managed to finish top 4 with Julier's run because obviously we're in the Champions League the following season with Benitez. That isn't going to happen this year. And that's where I suppose all the real worries and concerns are coming, that we might fade away again because we won't be able to attract the players. Like I heard there's a £30 million bid gone in for Benteke.
From us?
Yeah.
Oh, the horror.
Lads, it's on. Remember what I said? The mass walk into the sea. We're all going to the sea. It's on. It's happening. Benteke shorts into the sea. Where'd you hear that?
What?
Where'd you hear that?
It's on the radio coming out.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's just such a lack of creativity, in the transfer market. You know a dodgy link, and one that can easily fucking happen. This Benteke thing, unless City come in and buy him or something stupid like that, that's going to happen. Yeah. And even Miller, like, everyone thinks he's coming to us, and there's people giving out shit. You just go to Arsenal, like,
yeah.
It's just mad. We go after fellas, and it's just like that stuff. I want to see someone coming in that just a complete out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you can score goals. Benteke. We've ourselves the end of next season.
I just don't, unless we're changing how we're going to play, change our system, all that type of stuff. I don't see how it's going to work out. And it'll be something, you're signing basically a better version of Andy Carroll, and you didn't want Andy Carroll in the 4th season, which just, it's so confusing if we're going that route.
It's very confusing.
You know what I mean? And I still think Benteke is a better version of Andy Carroll, but we'll have spent 65 million on Andy Carroll and Benteke.
Big target.
That's
and it's another for kind of slightly above average Premier League player bought for absolutely crazy money when that's supposed to be completely against FSU's mission statement, in the transfer market. So.
You could get another player in Europe somewhere for
It's going to do more.
We're going to have to wrap it up.
Well, that's a lovely, happy note to wrap it up on. So I would say good luck and
ciao, Periscope. How do
iPhone wankers.
Every week we say ciao, Periscope.
Can you see all my comments when you're looking back at that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and all your love hearts come up as well.
Ciao, YouTube.